Hello, human peoples. You're listening to the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. To support us and gain access to great exclusive podcasts like Fox Mulder is a Maniac, Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Star Trek The Next Futurama, and our latest show, Spiel Boys, head over to patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. We do game streaming, movie nights with our patrons every Friday night, and you can even commission your own podcast about anything you want. Literally anything, within reason, and we have to do it. You are quite frankly out of excuses not to go visit patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
I think we're really.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah. We're on the top of the world right now. Ready.
I think
the
so,
potential
yeah.
is maximum right now.
Yes.
This could
We
be
are-
anything. Do you realize the next hour and a half could be anything, Dave?
Yeah, that
It's all ahead of
terrifies
us.
me.
It's all ahead of us.
Wow, the potential.
I'm guessing it'll be a good podcast
Well.
about trailers.
Woo!
And not like what if this is like a War of the Worlds situation? If aliens come or something,
It
like
could
it could
happen-
be anything.
It could happen any minute now.
It could.
Just the way things are going, aliens could come down
War of
Yes.
the world.
any minute.
Yeah. Listen. Hi.
Mhm.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to another episode of Hypecast. You feel it in the air? This is the show about.
It's pungent.
What is this a show about? Getting hyped about stuff and things. I am one of your hosts, David Bell.
And I'm still guest hosting. And you got it. It's Abe Epperson. Woo! Sunglasses
Hi,
on.
Abe. Abe, thank you so much for being on here.
Hey, you know, man.
Yeah, Abe is filling out for Tom,
I am filling
who
out.
should be back around March, just to give people an update, but there's no set time.
So you're stuck with me.
Yeah, they get you. They get you.
Aw.
You glorious man.
Well-
And who else is with us today?
It's me. I'm Bridgett Greenberg.
Woo!
Hey,
Hi.
what's up, kids?
Hi.
Bridgett.
Hey.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, of course.
It's always a delight.
Oh,
and
so much fun. I'm so
I'm excited.
I'm so
Yeah,
excited. I'm looking at the stock
excited.
and I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm excited about the trailers that we get to talk to you about, or specific trailer.
Yeah.
And just to get us started, Bridgett, where can we find you? Is there anything you want to plug just at the start of this?
We're doing that up top. All right.
We'll do a sandwich. We're gonna do a sandwich.
We're gonna do a
Two.
sandwich.
I'll ask you
in this show.
the tail end as well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, before we kick this off, you can find me doing some podcasts over at Small Beans. I'm sure you've heard of it. Abe, you've heard of it. There are a couple going on there. We're doing Shooting Threes, where we review movie trilogies. Rough Stuff is back, where my co-host Sarah and I talk about embarrassing childhood stuff. And,
Hell yeah.
There's a little podcast, Cast and the Curious, about the Fast and the Furious movies, where there is news coming.
Yes, there is.
Ooh.
It's almost like this was meant to be.
Abe, do you want to give any more details about this Small Beans?
Oh, yeah. Patreon.com/smallbeans. You heard Bridgett. We all work together, and she's pretty cool, and I'm pretty cool. And if you like our vibe, you should go over there and give us $1 or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
just
you should.
Just a chill vibe over there. That's all.
Or just like
Yeah.
it's a chill vibe here. How is
Yeah.
everybody? How are you all doing?
Good. I'm almost over COVID, as I mentioned off mic. And that's great.
Congratulations.
I'm very happy about it. I'm a little coughy. I'm sorry if I apologize if I sneeze or anything like that, but I'm feeling much better.
That's good.
Cool. And I'm doing great. This is just what I sound like. This is just it. It's been a long time since I've had COVID, so
First
I'll get
for
it
me.
soon. Now that I said
Are
that,
you saying you have like resting COVID voice? Is that what you're implying here?
Yeah, I think so a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've never put it that way, but
Yeah, it's a
I don't
terrible
think
thing
that's
to
not
say.
accurate.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah, how often? I mean, I don't think you have sick voice, but like if this is a pattern in your life where every time you talk, someone goes, "Are you okay?" Like that's never a good sign, right?
no, yeah, it hasn't been. Yeah, I feel like my voice is just lower and more monotone than you would expect it to be.
Sure.
And so, yeah, resting, sick voice.
I, for one, think you both have beautiful voices.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Dave.
wasn't
Yeah.
fishing, but thank you. Now I feel like
Yeah.
I'm fishing, but thank you. You have a
I
great
know.
voice too.
Thank you.
Dave has
We've
this
all-
way of complimenting you and making you feel bad for some reason. It's just how he rolls.
It's a talent.
Thank you, Abe. I'm taking that as a compliment.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
Abe, do you want to thank some producers before we get started?
Let's get real hype.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get real hype. And big thank you to the ghost of Dave Thomas. Thank you to @NerdNumbers.
Woo.
Thank you to Zero Charisma.
Aw.
Thank you to Aaron Burser.
Woo.
Thank you to Abe Epperson, a swell dude.
That's not me.
Thank you to AJ.
Woo.
Thank you to Andrew Howe, Deck the Halls with Blood.
Aw.
Thank you to Asking Seven.
Oh.
Thank you to Barry Two Math says ska never died and ska jokes are lazy Gen X nonsense.
Pick it up,
Pick it up.
pick it up. Let's thank Bob Grenville.
Thank you.
Let's thank Bootler Boodleson.
Thank you.
Hey, let's thank Brian, who Tom knows.
Thank you.
But let's not forget Brockway loves the meat Millie.
It's true.
And Chester's Prophet.
Oh yeah.
Let's thank Christopher Robert Sparts Esquire.
Yes.
And let's not forget Chiz Killy Tits.
Thank you.
Also, Dan Hackroyd.
Thank you.
And let's finish it up with Davey, the ghost of East Las Vegas Francis.
Thank you. Okay. Trailers.
Let's go.
Specifically.
go.
Yeah, specifically the trailer for Fast X.
We
Bridgett,
predicted
take
that
it away.
title. We predicted the title on the Cast and Curious. Someone
Nice.
reminded me recently on 5. We said it was going to be Fast X on our episode 5. So
Yeah.
just want to shout that out. If you go back and listen, we called it. This
You know what
trailer-
that means? That means Vin Diesel is listening.
He's
to your
listening.
show.
He's a fan. I unfortunately had to miss this, but my co-host in this Fast and Furious podcast endeavor, Sarah Griffith, went to a trailer release party where the whole cast was there and watched the trailer. I was sadly in Boston. Otherwise, I would have been there screaming my head
She had
off.
a puffy. Dave. She had a puffy paint shirt that said Vin Diesel.
She
on it.
did.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to our friends at Super Yaki. They have
Amazing.
great Fast and Furious merch. There is Getty images of Sarah in a Vin Diesel shirt at this event.
Wonderful.
They said they played
chose
this
her.
trailer 2 times for the audience. They played it once. Everyone, the cast came out. They introduced it. Everybody cheered, hooped, hollered, and they were like, "Do you want to see it again?" And they played it again immediately.
Damn.
That's great.
For all the
so
fast
what
heads.
but what you are describing is like a 2-hour event leading to everybody sitting and watching about 5 minutes of footage.
Yeah,
and then
not
another
even.
hour. I
Closer to
assume.
30 seconds of footage.
My God.
And I'm sad I missed it. This trailer got me so excited for this freaking movie. It looks so good.
I love it.
As 9 was fun, 8 fell off. I feel like 10's really going to turn it back around. I'm seeing a lot of the hits that I love. I'm hoping they didn't blow their big set piece in the trailer. They probably did, but it's still going to be a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's in this movie. Jason Momoa as the villain with a tie into Fast 5.
Yeah, he's getting revenge for Fast 5 apparently.
Yeah,
And
apparently he's in Fast 5.
And he's a real Cal Drogo in this. I'm
Right.
just pissed he doesn't have his horsey hair.
Yeah.
It's a shame. So I did notice because they talk about family and they talk about one
course.
last ride and stuff.
Rita Moreno
But
is his
Vin-
mother? Are you
Yes.
kidding?
Oh,
Great.
it's great. But Vin Diesel has also already talked about who he wants for Fast 11. So they're not stopping.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, this isn't the last one.
It says at the end of the trailer, the end of the road begins.
The end
And
of
that-
Right.
So this is a 2-part. So it is like
So
the Fast
X2?
10. So it is a part 1 and 2.
This is like, okay, so is this the end, though? Is it actually the end, part 1 and 2?
Who can say, Dave?
I'm guessing they aren't. I'm guessing they're going to make 10 more of these, and I wouldn't blame them for doing that.
I think that it's going to be, we're going to get part 1 and 2 of this end of the main Fast universe, and then we're going to get a lot of like Fast and Furious Presents,
Right.
Hobbs and Shaw kind of spin-offs, which I have ideas for. Universal, I got a notebook full of ideas of what these
hell yeah.
Fast and Furious Presents could be.
Hell yeah.
You know what you got to do, Bridgett, how you get that made? You find like Vin Diesel when he's going to his car.
Oh, yeah.
And you approach him.
Yes.
With the book, and you scream the ideas at him.
Sarah and I already fully plan on somehow Hell or High Water breaking into this premiere, whether it be
Nice.
in a Fast and Furious like heist.
Let's do some crimes.
or,
Yeah. I mean,
You
they would
deserve
love it.
tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we will find Vin, and we will pitch his ear off.
Hell yeah.
We got.
I got a
pitches,
question for you. Since you've seen and you understand the franchise, and I know that Vin Diesel is known for like not taking an L in his movies because
Never.
yeah, contract and such. But like it feels like we're like this trailer has an ominous vibe that I can't remember his character's name, Vin Totinos or whatever.
Dominic Toretto.
Yeah, he's gonna die, right?
No.
No.
That's
No.
impossible. It's impossible. I think that would be a great.
I don't think he will in this movie. Maybe towards the
X2.
end he'll die, but he'll die like in a heroic blaze of glory
Oh,
for
of
family.
course.
I
That's what
think
I was
it's going to be more of a he quote unquote dies, and then the last shot is like mysterious figure watching the funeral.
Sure.
That's right.
Like, yeah, I
Oh,
don't think
yeah.
I don't think Vin Diesel's going to allow that.
It's not.
No.
gonna-
I think he'll gladly kill every other character.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't. Well, also counterpoint, they didn't even kill off Brian, Paul Walker's character.
Yeah, he's
Right.
back.
He's not dead in this universe.
They don't kill anyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just gets like text messages now from beyond the grave.
Yeah.
Throughout the movies.
Yeah, Brian just kind of pulls up at the barbecue conveniently before camera cuts out.
Yeah, exactly.
The only member of the family who has died and yet to come back is Gal Gadot.
Wow.
Oh,
'cause
right.
she's Wonder
So I
Woman,
mean, and
so-
she super died. She got sucked
I
into a
think-
plane engine, but also
I think the moment
furious.
Gal Gadot is available and is like, all right, fuck it. She's back, right?
It-
Like the moment she's like, all right, my career isn't going the way I want. I'll come back. Like I think that's gonna be it.
She's gonna
right?
come back as.
she's
a plane.
gonna come back. You
Yeah.
know, they're in the middle. Like her Wonder Woman contract is in flux, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't think they're making any more of those.
Yeah, so she can come back.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
not?
fuck it.
Why not? I mean, talking about this trailer specifically, the things I'm excited for. That motorcycle stunt where it goes front wheel,
Yeah.
it hits the
That
thing,
was
back
dope.
wheel, dope.
That was dope.
The Charlize Michelle Rodriguez fight at the end, the little
Yeah.
tag, that's going to be a great fight. And just Jason Momoa, that shot of him, the classic eyes opening suddenly in water.
Right.
I'm
Like
excited to
Aquaman?
see how he ties into this.
Do you think by the end of this he will be part of the family?
I mean, the family, of course, yes, because almost every villain,
Everyone becomes family.
They're like the Borg. They
Yeah.
absorb.
are.
They don't.
They
They
absorb.
don't defeat.
they
don't
absorb.
defeat,
they're-
they
Exactly. I
absorb
mean,
your
we gotta
knowledge.
see how Brie Larson is now part of the family. She's
Yeah.
she's
God.
just in it now. I can't believe Rita Moreno has been part of the family this whole time, and we haven't seen her till now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. There's a bunch
These
of
are-
people that I feel like may have been in this franchise before, and I can't tell because there's so many big names. Like is this the first for Brie Larson, or
This is the
she...
first for Brie Larson.
Okay, because I was like, maybe she was in Fast 7 or something.
No,
I don't know.
she got those Nissan commercials, and now Nissan's like, get her in the Fast movies.
Right,
Nice.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to see Jason Statham in there.
Oh,
It's gonna
always.
be like everybody gets a scene, right?
I mean, Helen Mirren is back. Her and Vin Diesel seem to have a romantic scene on a bridge at sunset
Yes.
somewhere.
Never gonna die.
They better fuck.
I know.
I love it because it's obviously like superhero films, but it's not just like superhero films. Every Fast and Furious film is like an Avengers film.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they don't give anybody separate movies. It's just 20 people,
And that's
every single time.
I mean, if everybody could take a note from this, that's all you need. And then also,
Yeah.
can we talk the scene in this where two choppers try to kidnap Dominic
He
Toretto,
makes him kiss.
Yep.
and then he
Makes him
pulls him
kiss.
down with a car?
Yeah, jumping onto the other road.
That I love the physics of this universe.
Yes. So I do want to ask you, because you did say Fast 9 and Fast 8 were a little weak, and I actually, that is what you said, right? I
Yeah,
don't want to put
yeah,
words in your
yeah.
mouth. I hard agree.
Yeah.
Hard agree. And the reason personally I think this is the case is because they're starting to rely too much on CGI for the stunts.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every stunt they do practically is so cool and so awesome. And then anytime they bring in like a big tumbling ball, which we did see in this movie, it's not as exciting as it feels like it should be. But that being said, there looks like there's a lot of great chase scenes and fights in this that happen practically.
I agree. That's why I'm like, I do also have hope for this. And there's a race scene, and
There's
it's like, here we fucking go.
right.
There's
The
a
roots.
classic race scene where they're racing for respect.
Yep.
Let's bring back the race wars.
Let's bring back the race horse. They do that
Remember?
shot through the window of all the people in the little racing lineup.
Yep.
Love it.
You know who I want them to bring back for revenge? I want them to bring back the train from the first movie.
Oh.
I want it to be a sentient train.
There's so many. They
Yes.
bring back Jaw Rule.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the
Where's
train.
Jaw?
100%.
Where's Jaw?
Yeah, he's ludicrous now.
Yeah, we also need more
That's
Tokyo
right.
Drift stuff in general,
There-
where like they could make Tokyo Drift 2.
They could.
With that-
There was and I'm hoping this expands in the movie because there's also a part in the trailer where someone asks Han if he still knows how to drive, and then he kind of like chuckles, and then we see a car drift.
Yeah,
So-
we're gonna get some drifting.
So I'm hoping we get some cool drifting.
That's amazing. Any other thoughts on Fast X? I mean, I know you have roughly an hour and a half
Roughly.
worth of thoughts.
I think this trailer did exactly what it needed to do. It got me so excited. It seemed to have gotten the reaction online was positive, and it seems like the Fast series is gonna get the ending that it deserves.
Even when they're weak, I still enjoy them. Abe, what are you a Fast and Furious? Are you a fast head?
Not really, Dave. But like I can enjoy. I have a heart. I can enjoy a story
Right.
about family and some explodies.
It's mostly about family, and then cars go fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And how do you not? You know,
Yeah, these
How
at
can
least
you
be
not?
entertained.
These to me are right next to like the Mission Impossibles, where I always enjoy them when I watch them, and then they leave my body.
Yeah, like fast food.
Yeah.
In fact,
Speaking
I
of-
feel like. Well, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, I was gonna say the next series kind of has that same effect for me, but I'm always fucking excited. John Wick, Chapter 4, the nearly 3-hour long film, apparently.
Jesus.
Trailer
yeah.
for this.
My everything that's come out has looked cool. My problem is I kind of think the more when I heard about this runtime, that's when I got worried about this movie, because the more these movies get wrapped up in their plots, the worse they become, in my opinion.
That's the thing is I think where we will find just give it 10 years, we'll have Wick X coming out.
Yeah.
Like this is gonna Fast and Furious. This is gonna spin out of control. I'm with you guys, or I'm with you with the Continental or whatever. Like they're doing a spin-off show.
The Ian McShane shit. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like I don't really need to know how the world works. I still think these are top of the line when it comes to stunts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or rather,
yeah.
There's no
fights.
doubt. No
The
doubt.
fights are incredible.
Yeah.
There are some gnarly kills in this trailer.
Right.
Mhm.
So
I-
if this
yeah.
is this is like 2 hours and 45 minutes. If 2 hours of that is just fighting, this will
That will
breeze
be a
by
good
for
movie.
me.
Yeah, that's a good movie. If we get too bogged down in the world, then I'm worried. I'm worried. And that runtime suggests there's going to be a lot more dialogue in this movie than necessary.
And
Yeah.
Donnie Yen's in it.
Yes, he is, and he's going to be great.
He's gonna be awesome in it.
This much like Fast and Furious, they never take away; they only add.
They only
I'm
add.
pretty certain Halle Berry will be in this.
Yes.
because they show
Yes.
the dogs.
Yes.
Yes.
I fucking love
They
the
show
dogs.
the dogs.
Ultimately,
Last one.
John Wick is a movie about dogs, and that's why we love these movies.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I did write down. There's a dog in this. That dog's gonna die.
No,
No.
If you remember in Chapter 3, Halle Berry has attack dogs, and the dogs are fucking amazing. Like I've watched the behind the scenes for those dogs. They're like
And they all
stunt dogs.
survived. They all
Oh
survived.
yeah, they're just. I think one of them
The
might
series
have
is
gotten
getting
hurt,
away from itself, man.
But like
What
the
is-
idea. Did you wait, Abe? Did you not see 3?
I saw 3, but like you mentioned, it passed through me like a
It's
Oh, right.
Taco
almost
Bell
impossible
burrito.
to remember. Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I do not like you mentioned Halle Berry, and that did not scan. Now that you mentioned Halle Berry and dogs, I'm like, okay, yeah, I do remember there was dog thing. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
all I'm saying is that the series is getting away from itself. What's it about? Guns and dog death. I mean, that's just what this. That's what
And,
this
Yeah.
and
story
losing a
is.
beloved pet.
Yeah, it's true.
Go.
I would argue the series got away from itself the moment it made a sequel.
Sure.
Probably true.
Personally,
Yeah, it's
I
kind of
think
perfect.
it was. Yeah, it was a self-contained perfect film, but I'm not complaining because I've loved every fucking sequel since.
Yeah, that's true.
Just because of the fighting. Like fucking him when he killed a guy with a book. This trailer has him fighting people in traffic, which my favorite thing about John Wick is that the universe is filled with NPCs
Yeah.
and nobody is stopping their
No.
cars. They're just
Right.
having a fight in traffic and everybody's just driving by like it's fine.
No. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's truly it's a little bit like a Grand Theft Auto world,
Yeah.
which is fun. It is a little bit of a Grand Theft Auto live action movie.
I think I did a cracked article about how when you play Path of Neo, the video game, those in the Matrix movies, whenever he'd learn something and their eyes would flutter, what they did is in the video game is you learned that time would stop and they'd live out the entire training sequence.
Okay.
So like when Trinity has to learn how to fly a helicopter,
Right.
she's actually taking months of helicopter classes in her brain. And so I theorize that the John Wicks are programs because they work like video games. There's
Right.
NPCs, everything is coin-based currency. Keanu Reeves is there.
Yeah.
So is fucking Morpheus there.
Yeah.
Larry Fishburne. So yeah.
Larry.
And I love that there's boss battles. I think one of the line in this movie is you need to defeat him in single combat.
Yes.
Which is like weird considering that it cuts to John Wick just mowing down fools just nonstop. And I'm like, wow, that guy must be really good with a gun.
It's very funny that the bad guy is one of them Skarsgårds. I think it's
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, it's
It's
Bill.
Bill.
Nothing against the Skarsgårds, but it's just like, well, that's not going to take long.
No.
Like he's going to break him in half like a twig.
He's
Right.
also the least intimidating Skarsgård. Maybe like the most creepy in a horror sense. But if I were going
Right.
to fight a Skarsgård, I would pick Bill.
I would
Yeah,
pick Bill
who to
too.
fight.
Of
Yeah.
who to fight. I wouldn't pick Stellan.
Stellan should have been the villain. That would have been terrifying.
Stellan should always be the villain.
But yeah, that's true. But also in the first one, they got the Theon Greyjoy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Right,
that's the-
he wasn't
so he was
formidable.
the whole point is that someone is insulated, and you have
Right.
to just get to the creamy center, and kill the
That's-
white boy at the center.
That's true. You got to get that honky center. Yeah, because the first John Wick, he's basically Jason Voorhees. Like he's
Right.
not. He faces no problems. It's just people hiding until he comes to kill them. So yeah.
Yeah. If they stopped at one, it would have been, just as perfect.
Yeah, but
Weird
we'll always
thing.
have one.
We'll
you know?
always
we always
have
have
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
That's why I'm just like, yeah, fuck it, make a bunch. They're just stunt shows, and
Right.
They are glorious.
The train's not stopping, so get on.
Right.
You know.
And they use a lot of CGI. It's about how they use CGI, right?
Yeah.
So like the stunts are real. It's just the environment they put them in.
They go
are
around
augmented.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, and the world
it's-
it looks so cool.
Yeah.
The key to that-
rain in this world is so dramatic.
The key to it is really compound shots and wides. Like when
Yeah.
you really look at what separates John Wick from every other action franchise, it's that the way it uses its CG, like you said, they cut out holes in geography where it's like, all right, and then you navigate around that car that will be on fire. But ultimately, he's still got a trajectory that's very clear to you. I
Yep.
got to pop this guy, and then, like move on.
Right. Well, and that it lends itself. It works that way because everything is practical, so they can
Right.
shoot and wide.
Exactly.
They're not cheating as much.
Yes, that's the big part is the fact that Keanu Reeves and everybody are stuntmen who actually can perform the things.
Right.
They
So-
don't have to cut
Yeah.
around that.
It's great.
Yeah.
It is great.
So-
And he says his signature line, which I believe is yeah.
Yeah.
His signature line, which is make eye contact with the dog.
Yeah.
I thought his line was, "Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back."
Yeah.
Right.
It's some combination of yeah or whoa because
Yeah.
we're talking about Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves.
Whoa.
Whoa. I don't
Yeah.
think he ever says whoa in John Wick. Whoa, my
No,
dog
but-
died. Whoa.
It's all the same. Like it's just a level. It's either it's happy dude or angry dude. That's Keanu Reeves' entire like spectrum.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Let's keep on going. You guys want to keep on going?
Yes.
keep doing this.
Oh, baby.
The next is the trailer for the Disney live-action Little Mermaid. I can't help but notice that they're not showing the lobster.
They don't have the lobster in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the lobster is probably terrifying.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because like already you got the pufferfish, which is not, our cute little flounder.
Right.
And lobsters, cartoon lobsters, a lot cuter than real lobsters.
Yeah.
And have you seen a flounder, by the way?
Oh,
You
flounder.
see it in the trailer.
Flounder is a
well,
different
well,
type
it's
of fish.
Oh,
That's
wait,
yeah,
right.
it's
right,
a
that's
different
not
type. It's
flounder,
not
right.
flounder. It's just a pufferfish.
You
It's a
do.
pu-
All right. So
or, yeah.
flounder is briefly seen in, I think, the other teaser.
It's like,
and it is, in fact, just a fucking fish.
That's
Of course, it has to be. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it makes
Flounder
no
was my
sense.
favorite. And
Yeah, that's gonna suck. That's gonna suck. But
none
I
of
am.
these have been great. This one
No.
seems to. I thought the water came together well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be
it looked
fine.
pretty.
These are unnecessary as fuck. The same thing with Lion King.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I love it and hate it. Little Mermaid is literally one of my favorite movies of all time. I will see it for the songs at
Yeah.
the minimum.
Right.
Even though I hate the marketing, I hate the fact that this is another teaser. They're calling it Wish and shit.
Yep.
It's just
It-
like, all right,
yeah.
let's prolong everything.
It's going to be
This-
so many teasers until we get 100 days, it says.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It's going to be. I think it'll be objectively horrifying to watch.
Yes.
Just because it's like squids
animals,
and
yeah.
fish and
Sea
they should have
creatures-
gotten James Cameron to do this. By the way,
yeah.
he would have taken 6 years to make it. He would have all the actors would have had to learn to hold their breath really long.
Yeah, he would have taught a fish how to sing.
Yeah. He would have
Problem
almost
is-
drowned Ed Harris, even though Ed
Again.
Harris isn't
He would
in it.
cast himself as King Triton.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have made him cast himself as King Triton. Yeah, this is a lot of the charm of these Disney movies is that the characters are so cute.
Right.
And they just really take away what is, I don't think they realized 70% of why these movies are successful, and it's because they're
Yeah.
cute.
Right.
For that reason, I think every live action Disney, every single one, has been baseline bad in some way.
Yeah.
Like they'll get better. Like there's ones where I'm like, well, that was pretty cool, or like, oh, that
Right.
was a better one. Like I think Aladdin was an easy one because it's actually like people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Incredibles will be weird when they get around to that.
Yeah, Jesus. But Lion King was just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Jungle Book, that was one that was like, okay, this is better.
Yeah.
But they're all still baseline of this, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
Yeah.
I will say, Sarah and I went to see Lion King together, and we had taken a couple weed gummies, and the opening was. I think I looked over and both of us were sobbing at the opening, just having the time of our lives. Like we were going up on a roller coaster that we were going up during the. It's like going up on a roller coaster, that opening, and then just plateauing. There's no drop.
Right.
We're just like, oh, okay, that was it.
Oh, fuck.
We were so
Lion King.
excited at the beginning of that movie,
Man.
and then just zero. I think both of us fell asleep at different points.
Lion
Right.
King is amazing. Not the new
Yeah,
one. Just
not
Lion
the new
King.
one. Yeah, because at what point making the new one did they realize that you can't make lions expressive if you're
No.
going to make them realistic?
Yep.
No, and also, again, the cute factor. Like, Simba is a damn cutie.
Right.
Right.
Not in this one.
Right.
No, just a fucking tiger.
No,
Just
these
a
are
lion
children's.
over there.
Yeah, these are children's
Yeah.
movies. Your animals have to be endearing, and these
They gotta
are
smile and have eyebrows.
right.
Do
I'm not
stuff
gonna.
with their
Yeah,
face.
a real life flounder is not cute.
And
Sebastian.
then it's going to talk.
Bleh, bleh.
Sebastian is going to be something out of a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Right.
Yeah.
It feels like it's like an LSD nightmare because it's like
Yeah.
imagine like being on the beach and a fucking lobster starts talking to you in a Jamaican accent, and it's
Yeah.
just like, what the fuck is happening?
What
Like, that's-
happens?
Yeah.
I have a question for you. What happens if we because we're from the era of nostalgia for this, and we have very confident in why we know the things did well, the golden era of Disney. What if kids just fucking love it? They
well,
just
these do good.
They do well because people take them, but is it that like it did? I've never heard of one of these remakes doing like Frozen. Like we need to go back. My child
Yeah.
is demanding that I go back to that world.
No one falls. I don't think anyone falls in love with these like they do the original cartoons. Like I still think.
Right.
I don't think anybody goes into these movies without that being the touchstone.
Well, the other part of this is like, okay, how long is the original Little Mermaid? It was one of the older ones, so I'm guessing it's like 90 fucking minutes or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Moves.
This is going to be what? 2.5 hours? Like that's what they fucking like. What was the Dumbo? Remember the Dumbo Tim Burton?
Oh yeah.
Which Jesus fucking
Jesus
Christ.
fucking
That
Horrible.
movie was 2 hours long. I just looked it up. The original Dumbo is like 60 minutes. And that's a big part of it is like they stretch it, and Dumbo is probably the worst version of this, which again, it has like Tim Burton made it. It's made with love and talent. Doesn't matter. Like, why are we
No.
fucking watching this?
Yeah. Yeah, why are we
we will
remembering
see.
that Dumbo is a horrifying story?
Right. It just, I don't know. It doesn't
By
make-
the way, Little Mermaid from 1989, runtime 1 hour and 23 minutes.
Yep.
They kept them tight.
I guarantee this will be 2 hours.
It's going to be a lot
This
of
will-
stretching.
This is gonna be 211. Yeah, it's gonna be ridiculous.
It is Rob Marshall doing it.
Yes, it is.
But again, I don't think it has anything to do with talent. There's been
No.
very talented people making these.
No, you could throw in any director to these. You still have to. You're basing it off. You're doing a shot for shot of the original movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what you can bring to it.
Right. I feel like it's just a remaster. It's the equivalent of video game remaster where they just want new
Sure.
kids
You're better
to watch it.
You're better
And
off.
it's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're better off re-releasing the original in theaters.
Right.
But they just want to get a new voice. They want to get new talent behind it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so just, make the new kids just revoice the old
Right.
cartoons.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that is probably the best part for me. Like Lion King, I actually enjoyed seeing who they were going to get. And this is the same. I think the cast looks good.
Right.
But it's just it's just like I don't know, man. Like you could just make a new kids film with this cast.
Right,
or
exactly.
something.
Just give us something. Yeah, give us Toy Story
Yeah.
9. Like,
Yeah, fuck it.
yeah, those have all been good and
big
original. And
deal. I want more. I just want the song so bad, man.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure it'll have a great soundtrack.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
well-
a great soundtrack.
Next trailer is for an Apple TV show called Tetris. This isn't the 3-part Tetris movie that studios have been threatening to make. This is like a thing on like the making of the actual game Tetris, about getting the rights from Russia and evading, I guess, the KGB, and like it looks like loosely based off a true story, one imagines.
I
What do you
looked
guys
it
think
up.
of this?
And apparently it is. Obviously, I don't think it's going to go full James Bond, and there probably isn't car explosions. But they did go there during the height of the Cold War, and it was dangerous. That was a surprise to me. I didn't know that aspect of Tetris. Movie Reddit r/movies was very glowing about this, and my reaction was very the opposite. Maybe it's because last week we talked about Air, which is the same
like
thing, right?
Thing.
Corporate nostalgia for the salesman of Game Boy and Tetris. It's like, geez, that's bizarre to me.
Yeah.
And it kind of taints it because it makes me like, what am I celebrating here? That some salesman was like, I can make so much money.
Sure.
But, I guess we did get the Game Boy and it was great. Tetris is great. That's true.
Yeah. My reaction to this trailer is, this is obviously, there's a cool story here, and to find out about it and not get the rights would be dumb, because if that's elements of the true story of having struggles getting this game from the rights to this game from Russia during Cold War times, there's something there. My issue with how this trailer looks is they seem to take it so damn seriously, and at the end of the day, it keeps bringing you back to they're talking about Tetris.
Right.
It's
a game I love too.
They're trying to point out how amazing Tetris was at the time.
Yeah.
But they do like where they film it like a video game too, and they're making him like obsessed with Tetris. And they're treating it like it's like they're winning the war. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no dramatic tension to.
But again, it's. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's just no. It's not. Yeah, whenever they go back to the game of it all, I'm like, yeah, I know it was exciting at the time, and I've certainly gone through phases where I was obsessed with Tetris and saw those little blocks. In my dreams, but. It's still it's fucking Tetris, you guys.
Again, we talked about this last week. There's the thing about Air Jordans, that movie coming out, and they treat these products like it's world changing, and that's the weird reverence they're having for brands and products in these movies are very fucking weird. Yeah, where like no doubt, I'm sure this has ties to like Nintendo and whatever. It did also make me realize, like, I know. This isn't a plot hole, obviously, but at watching this, I was like, why didn't they just steal it? Like, why couldn't they just steal the game? Like, and just call it something else?
Honestly, the coding...
Video games do that all the fucking time.
All the time. The
days.
coding couldn't have been that advanced.
Yeah.
I know Pong came out before Tetris.
Yeah.
They could have figured this one out.
Yeah, and it's like, if you're selling it in America, do copyright laws even matter? Again, people do it all the time these days. So people will put out a video game that's just like another one.
Yeah. I mean, I give the Air Jordan, the Air trailer, a little more leeway, and maybe this is just like where I'm coming from it, but
you're sneaking ahead there.
Air Jordan sneakers had, I would say, like a more lasting and evolving impact on culture than Tetris did.
I think
Depends on who you're
some
talking
people
to, I
would
think.
disagree.
Probably, yeah. I mean, that's as a
another
basketball fanatic. That's just where I'm coming from it.
Right. Yeah. That's
at the end of the day, it's just what are we celebrating?
That's another thing that the trailer does. There's a moment in the trailer where they're like they feel the need to justify, like, look how great it is from every angle, not just from like a business perspective and cultural perspective, but like a personal perspective. And the way they kind of paint that is that the scene that we get in the trailer is what's his face, the Taron Egerton or whatever.
Yeah.
He is talking to I assume his wife, and they're in their apartment, and he asks the question, have you ever heard our apartment this quiet before? And I always hate that shit. I hate when corporations do that shit where it's like, hello, fellow kids, where it's like, always the subtext of it is we don't have to raise our kids, or like the new Taco Bell ad where it's like there's Taco Bell ads that they have that are essentially like they're trying to push their the agenda of their morning menu, like the breakfast menu.
Sure.
And they literally tell people in the ads, go to sleep right now. Just go to sleep so that you can wake up and order this food. And I just hate it when corporations do like Big Brother shit where it's like, go to sleep. Don't you love that your children don't have to be raised? Use this object that we made. You know, it's like, oh man, this is getting dark.
And they might try to do it like ironically or something like that.
Right, but you know it's not. You know it's not.
Yeah, this movie this trailer feels very self-serious, and in no way, like taking light of what the main point of it is, which is play Tetris.
There's a way to make a Tetris movie. This just feels like propaganda, weird propaganda.
I think if you want to make a movie about, trying to get there is something there. I know Monopoly has a similar kind of story where in World War II people like smuggled things through Monopoly boards, games.
Oh.
And there's a cool story there that I know people have the rights to. There are cool stories behind these games, but I don't know. The idea that they're like, look how quiet everything is. That's not a good movie.
Right. Well, it just feels like an
compelling.
ad.
It
feels like an ad for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it is.
Ultimately.
Yeah. It's also the least compelling as a potential viewer to be like, know what's exciting about this? Look how quiet everybody is.
Yeah.
Like
all the drones are in their beds.
Yeah. That's
Tetris.
It's not exciting viewing for me.
Also, I can't believe they didn't use the Kurobaniki, the sound, the dun 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 dun.
Well, no, it's mixed into the trailer, but they're mainly using the final countdown, which was really fucking weird to me.
Yeah,
because it was like just use the music,
use the Kurobaniki, and also
we all know,
look it up, people who are into that track. There's a band called Ozma, Ozma, who has a cover of Kurobaniki. It is fucking off the chain. It is so good. And it's like, and it just fucking rules. And I'm just like, just slap that thing on there and I would go see this movie, I swear to God.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next trailer then. Mm-hmm. This is Paint.
Let's go.
This is Owen Wilson playing a Bob Ross type. I'm surprised, honestly, they haven't made something on a character like this.
Right.
It's in a very twee setting, I would say. It's about like it looks like it's about a local painter who is getting like pushed out or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally Bob Ross in every way except the name, because the Bob Ross Trust didn't give away the rights, which is fine. Right. But it's just weird that they just made a more wild story with it, which I'm on board with. Like, I'm like, all right, yeah, he's a Bob Ross that fucks. Okay.
It seems I honestly didn't catch the first time I watched it that it wasn't actually Bob Ross. And I was like, they really did this to Bob Ross? Okay.
Yeah, they really made him like a
it wasn't until you
horny-ass-
sent me it again and I rewatched the trailer that I realized they gave him a different name.
His character's name is Carl Nargle.
I can't believe they were allowed to get so close to the bone of Bob Ross down to like the dialogue.
I was surprised by. But I guess none of it is owned. You know, it's just a vibe.
Right. I'm looking at like characters, and PBS like president is a character, so like he's even on PBS.
Right. Which is fine, you know, like they can't get him for it, which is just bizarre how intellectual property works.
Pretty works, yeah. But this looks, I mean, it's a bummer that it's not Bob Ross, like a Weird Al kind of, the Weird Al movie kind of version of Bob Ross, where
fun that way. But I actually really, everything about this movie says that it could be very good. Actually.
Yeah,
I agree.
And I don't like twee shit. Because, like, what they're doing is they seem to be implying, like, an unhinged story where he's all calm and then everything, like, falls apart. And we realize that he's not actually that, which is actually kind of a cool character, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
He falls in love with the fact that like he falls in love with women and his own self-image, and he's throwing paint over his paintings and stuff like that. Like he's a dark person, and that
Yeah.
could be
Right,
cool.
he's almost like predatory. He might be where
Yeah.
it's like it's like this hippie type from Vermont who's like all cool, but like is actually just really like tightly wound or insidious in some way.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Yeah, or
What
there's
if
just like
Bob
one
Ross-
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, was evil.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, when I first watched this trailer and I thought it was literally a Bob Ross story, and it didn't really like they didn't show the breaking down of it all till the end. I was so shocked. I was like, "What happened
Yeah.
to Bob Ross that I didn't know about?" But this looks super fun, super well done. I think this story could be such a cool take on this character.
Yeah, I really do like it because they could have like, I don't know. I've always thought that a really great expose would be like Disney. You couldn't do it at this point because they like own everything, but like show Disney as the creator of children's dreams, like Walt Disney, and also a horrible anti-Semite. These are all
Right.
truths. You make an analog, do it like Halt and Catch Fire or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you could fucking make it killing because then you would just do like 1920s like Mad Men-esque him talking to kids saying like, oh, the dream stuff that dreams are made of, and then turning around and just being an absolute like Machiavellian businessman and just fucking over everybody, and it'd just be like, show me that, do that to Bob Ross, that'd be fucking great. And it looks
That
like
would
this
be.
might
Yeah.
be that, like, I don't know, it might be good.
Yeah. No, I'm excited about this one. This looks very fun.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yep.
All right, let's keep on going because the next one I'm very confused about. This is Operation Fortune. I believe this was filmed a while ago, and it's actually been released in other places.
Oh, weird.
But this is a Guy Ritchie, Jason
know.
Statham film with Cary Elwes and Aubrey Plaza and Hugh Grant, which I'm into that cast. But you know, whenever Guy Ritchie and fucking Jason Statham make something together, it's usually pretty fun. This feels like more of a Guy Ritchie film, which is weird because they like hide that it's Guy Ritchie. They do the like from the director of The Gentleman and Sherlock Holmes. Whereas we just covered that Jake Gyllenhaal Guy Ritchie one that looks nothing like a Guy Ritchie film.
The Covenant or some shit.
Yeah, and they
Or
were
The
like,
Revenant,
"Ooh, it's Guy
or I don't
Ritchie." Yeah. What'd you guys think of this?
I wrote down two things. One was that Spy was a really good movie.
Spy is a great movie.
The other thing that I wrote down is, did Aubrey Plaza just call Josh Hartnett daddy?
Ooh.
Because
she?
I thought she could have said Danny or something like that.
His character's name is Danny.
Oh, damn. Because
Yeah,
I was
I'm
going to
sorry.
say
Yeah, I
have
was
a
like,
new
I
fetish.
missed that one, but
Exactly that. Watching those two do that is now my fetish.
I think, yeah, for me, it's I like a good Guy Ritchie, and what my favorite thing about Guy Ritchie is the cast he brings in, and I believe,
Yes.
like Hugh Grant's, I think's already been in a Guy Ritchie, but he's kind of great for it. And now seeing Cary Elwes and Aubrey Plaza, where I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cary Elwes
Yeah.
I
is
could take or leave
inspired.
Josh Hartnett, but I'm happy he's
And he
there.
also
You know-
is like a bumbling, like rich guy, which I think is even better. Like that's
Yeah.
perfect utility,
Yeah.
actually.
I think it looks like Josh Hartnett might have fun with this role.
yeah.
And I'm
Right.
hoping it does. I hope it, plays. They play it as eccentric as it can be. Yeah, it looks like such a good. The cast chemistry looked really solid, and this is such an ensemble. This is a kind of movie that lives and dies off its ensemble. So, if these
Yeah.
four can pull it off, then this is going to be a fun movie.
I think so too.
Yeah, as long
But
as
I
like
think
the
you're-
energy and the action stays high, and we don't,
Yeah.
get bogged down like this.
Yeah,
This looks like
we
it
talked
could be
about
fun.
the genre on a frame rate. Dave and I talked about Bullet Train,
Yeah.
and it's getting a little tired. And like, I think Dave's kind of right about Guy Ritchie coming out with a different movie, and that's like the big title for him. And this movie, which is more in tune with what we expect for him to make, is not being published. Like, the new Guy Ritchie, because I think he's just tired of it. I think that's the what we're reading from this. He's like, yeah, I've done that for so long, man. I don't want to do it anymore. And I'm like, hey, you know what? That's fair.
Yeah.
Transform as an artist.
Yeah, for sure. It's almost like this is like so easy for him to do.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, all right, let me get
what else
Jason
you got?
Statham.
What else you got? Guy Ritchie. But he's got to make money.
He's got to make money, and this feels a little bigger, a little brighter, a little more big budget than your typical what you would think of when you think of Guy Ritchie.
Right.
A little,
He's been kind of doing that. It's not less grunge than his early work. I mean, he's been doing that for a while. What was it, like The Gentleman or whatnot?
Right, yeah.
Had the same look and vibe of this to me.
Yeah. I'm hoping, this is a little more exciting. This looks a little simpler plot-wise than The Gentleman, and a little more, there's a little more room for action and fun.
Yeah, for
we
sure.
will see. Spy was good.
I think he should do weirder stuff more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I do think he's kind of like, all right, everybody loves me doing this, but I very excited to see like fucking Carrie Elways. It should be noted, I looked it up. This was originally supposed to come out January 2002. It was pulled without comment from the studio.
2002?
No, I'm sorry, 2022.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes way more sense. It was pulled without comment from the studio. However, reports are saying that it features Ukrainian gangsters, and they're saying perhaps it was the wrong time.
That's
I
see.
That makes sense. That checks out. Where like they're playing it safe. They're like, well, might as well. So that explains that. Speaking of movies that have been around for a while, final trailer is for the remake Children of the Corn. Directed by Abe. Who is the director of Ultraviolet?
Oh, it's Kurt Wimmer.
Yeah,
yeah, dude. Kurt Wimmer, dude. He fucking sucks. I love it. I love it so much. He's my favorite.
This movie was made and premiered, as in was shown in a theater in 2020, and then it was just January of this year the rights were bought. And that can't be a good sign, right?
Shit.
No.
Not only is he the director of Ultraviolet, the last movie he directed was Ultraviolet.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Equilibrium. He did Equilibrium, obviously.
Earlier
that.
than that, like a few years before that. Holy shit, I love it. Now I'm going. Now I'm fucking going.
These kids better use gun kata.
Yes.
They better fight with gun kata.
That's right. Oh, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah, this looks bad.
Yeah, he also wrote the Total Recall and Point Break.
Yeah, he's mostly a writer.
Oh no.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. Yes, this looks bad. I think the trailer, the second half of the trailer, does a good job at making it seem like it might not. But that slow, she'll be coming around the mountain.
Oh my god!
I was just like, oh fuck me.
Fucking pack it in, trailers.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of that shit. Okay, I have a weird take, and you're probably going to want to separate from me, but I legitimately have a question about how I should feel. This movie, Children of the Corn, if you remember the original, the whole reason the movie fucking works and is great is that the child leader, the kid that they got,
great.
Fucking rules. Like, he carries the whole movie. So this child leader, the little girl, she seems like all right, like it's going to be a tough act to follow, but like, is that like a dumb thing to say about a kid? Like, is this a bad take right now?
Because this kid isn't creepy enough?
I'm going to be disappointed in it if this kid is not good.
I heavily agree that the first one, it's just because that kid did so well as a creepy child. The girl in this seems like she's doing okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a good movie if she
it's
can't
not that
do
great of
the
a story.
It's not a great. Yeah, there's nothing else. It's like, the
kids are creepy. That is
That's
the
all.
whole thing.
Right, and she's fine. She's like
watching this trailer. I don't hate that take. When I was watching that trailer, I ended up kind of just feeling bad for that child actor because it's like she clearly understands how to act.
The assignment too. I gotta be terrifying.
She understands, but she's also clearly not given a ton of direction.
Right.
Well, yeah, that just happened. They did the Razzies, and they gave the little girl from the new Firestarter a Razzie, and it's one more reason why the Razzies are awful.
That's
They're
awful.
Should not
That's
exist.
awful.
Yeah.
They were
Don't
made,
do that.
for the record, they were made by a bitter failed screenwriter.
Of course
the
they
Razzies
were.
were. They're extremely racist in what they
fun.
give awards to.
I never think about the
They're-
Razzies, and I'm gonna think less about
no one
them
should,
now.
and this is the reason why. So
God.
it's like, fuck. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I always feel bad for kids in films.
I know
Right.
she like from this, what I gathered is she is a competent young actor who
Who, if she's not
left
good, the
hanged out
movie
to-
will suck.
Yeah, who just like
Yeah.
is not directed by someone who can direct child actors, which is probably a very difficult thing that involves like a different
Very much
skill
so.
set than most directors are probably used to.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
it's not fair for her because this movie
And I-
lives and dies by how creepy the children are, and she seems just like a very
Right.
normal little girl in this.
right.
Look, Kurt Wimmer. If you fucking knock it out of the park, I will take back everything I've said about you in the past. But ultraviolet is all I have to say.
Oh yeah. By the way, I just want to amend. I feel bad for every little kid in the movie except for that kid in RoboCop 2.
Yeah, fuck that.
That kid fucking.
That guy
that
sucks.
kid ruled in that. I didn't feel bad.
Wait, who are you talking about?
He got the little crime kid in RoboCop 2.
Oh.
He got the role of the century. He got the best child acting role.
Yeah, okay.
ever.
I thought you were talking about someone else. My bad. Yeah, no,
Oh,
that
okay.
kid was good. That kid, yeah.
I was happy that could have that only enhanced his
I
life.
was
I'm
coming
sure.
in
I'm
hot
not
with
looking
saying,
up that
like,
actor, but
let's list kids that suck. Just because
Yeah.
I thought that would be funny. My bad.
yeah. But this this is. I'm gonna see it.
I don't
not in
think I
theaters.
will.
I'm gonna watch it on streaming. Abe, I think you're required to
I
see
think
it.
I'm required to see it. Just so you know, Bridgett, when I first watched Ultraviolet, which is on one of their Friday night movie nights, I
Right.
immediately bought the Blu-ray. That's how much I was baffled
wow.
by the movie. Yeah.
Okay.
It's spectacular.
Oh,
This
wow.
film is going to be released for 18 days on March 3rd, and then it's going right to Shudder. So yeah, this is a
that feels
movie
right.
again. Yeah, it was made. It's fucking 3 years old, and it's very clear
That's weird.
they're dumping it. Right?
Yeah.
they're
It has apparently has nothing to do with the 1984 film. They started back from the short story, and it just can't possibly be good.
Oh wow. Okay.
I would be amazed if this is good.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
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 There's no I feel like this is a big classic horror movie, and if it's 18 days in theaters and straight to Shudder, that's a bad sign.
That's
Yeah.
not the good.
All right. Well, let's
You want to
thank
talk
some
about
more
some
producers.
Yeah, let's fucking do it, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, big thank you to David Knife Boot Henson.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you to Deborah is awesome. Barbara is great and cancer can go to hell.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you to Dracula, the bus driving vampire.
Oh.
Thank you to Driftless Rope, Mabel's name in the Witch's Book of Blood.
Hype.
Thank you to E.T., the extravagant terresticle.
Woo.
Thank you to Evil Ed 209.
Up.
Thank you to Exploding Runes.
Woo.
Thank you to Funky J. Mostly comes out at night. Mostly.
Woo.
And thank you to Glitter as CFO of Michael Shannon's Chocolate Factory. Abe, you got a new one in this batch.
Ooh.
Just telling you now.
All right. So let's give a big thanks to Heathcliff's Helping Handfuls.
Thank you.
Let's thank Ombre says Mabel Step on Me.
We love Mabel.
Let's thank James Cameron's Prolapse Locomotive.
Yeah.
Let's thank Krishanovich.
Krishanovich.
Let's thank Look Ma, I'm on a podcast.
Thank you.
Let's thank Mackenzie. Fuck shuffling with Willem Dafoe's confusingly large dick chill.
And how.
And let's thank Mercurial Oz.
Thank you.
Let's not forget Mike the Lurker.
Thank you.
And finally, let's thank No One Can Hear You Scream in Space, McNulty.
Thank you. All right. We got some news stories. Starting with the fact that the Rust, the production that Alec Baldwin shot a cinematographer and is awaiting trial, is resuming filming with Alec Baldwin and new cinematographer. I'm not sure if there's much to say about this, because I certainly understand that if you dump enough money into a movie,
Right.
there's a point where you're like, well, like The Crow got made, etc. It feels weird to me though when it's like the person who is on trial for fucking it up. But again, Twilight Zone movie got made.
Sure.
And that director was also on trial.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on this?
It's a lot to
Man,
unpack.
just cut your losses on this movie.
That's my thought.
Just cut your losses.
I think, we're at a time where we can, but I don't think that that's just how it works anymore.
I know, but
it's money.
that William Hurt movie where they hit the train, that didn't get made. And the rest seems like a fairly indie film. And it's like, you're not making the Twilight Zone movie. You're not making a superhero film.
Right. And we're at a time where like everyone knows what happened on like the media machine is big enough, and
That's the
that
thing.
news, like there's just no way that this gets released and people have a good feeling about it, or
Right.
the movie is
Right.
good
That's
enough.
the thing I think
you know?
is that it's kind of tone deaf to the times, because
Yeah.
Twilight Zone movie actually it killed kids with a helicopter and still released to a moderate to large success in 1983.
Right.
So
and people
Russ,
still don't know about that till this
and
day that
was
happened.
sensational story at the time in the newspapers. This was sensational at our time in Twitter and everywhere.
That means
and
a
now
lot
that
more, yeah.
it's so much more. So I just don't see how people are like lining up to watch this. And I understand that the way that this kind of cost benefit analysis works is that I'm sure, like depending on the movie, and if you look at different examples, they were made or they weren't made based off the sunk cost already exhibited in the movie. So
Right.
what that ultimately means is how far in production were they? Did they already get a lot in the can? And I guess someone did the, analysis and said, look, we have like half of a movie in Rust. Let's try to
Right.
get some of it back,
Just-
because
Right.
otherwise
Here's-
it's millions
so here's
of dollars.
the thing that makes me really shudder.
Right.
Part of this news is that they also announced that they're making a documentary about the cinematographer who died.
That's
And I'm like, that feels
wrong.
Yeah,
it
all,
does.
all of this feels wrong. Like, how do you go about marketing this movie without being like,
Right.
this is a movie someone died on?
Yeah.
It feels like the fucking Peter Jackson King Kong, where Jack Black keeps saying, I'm going to donate the proceeds to their family whenever someone dies, where it's like they're trying to make it seem noble. Like, we'll make a documentary about her too. And it's like, I don't know if that's the documentary that needs to be made.
No.
I think you should make a documentary about how fucked up film sets can be.
No, and it
maybe
doesn't
ways to change it or
Yeah.
something like
Right.
that.
It doesn't feel like Helena Hutchinson's family, like from the stuff I've read about it. It doesn't really. I don't know the deal with the documentary, but it doesn't
Yeah, it's
feel
hard
like
to tell.
this is how they would want it to go down. I don't know that for sure, but it just strikes me as kind of callous and gross.
It's definitely like, it's grotesque. It's icky feeling. And like, we don't, like you're saying, we don't know. Like maybe her family is like, yes, let's do a documentary. Yes, continue. It's the optics of it. It still feels.
Yeah,
like,
it's interesting because you mentioned Midnight Rider, right? The Safety for Sarah movement.
Yeah.
Sarah Jones, camera assistant on Midnight Rider, which I don't think released.
It didn't release.
It did not release. That is closer to the example of like a current like news cycle, and that became a big movement on film sets. Like slates would have,
Safety
for Sarah,
yeah.
Safety for Sarah. It was a movement that was essentially getting unions to look at this kind of stuff, and it kind of worked. Like it really became a big deal. This didn't have the same trajectory in the way. Because I think it, like, we're talking about
Because it
like
was such a freak accident. Yeah.
2014, 15, I think, and like, 2020, so it's like there was so many years, and it was also such a freak thing. And it wasn't like there's clear blame, and there's obviously charges, but it was like in the case of the Safety for Sarah, it was like just straight up was, just backed into a train, like just a horrifying accident that, there's people to blame, but like it also is kind of one of those freak accidents. This one is all this with Rust. It's like the blame pretty clearly is on the prop master.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I would say the producer, who was
and the
Alec
producer,
Baldwin.
yeah, absolutely. The way that it's done on film sets is there's a lot of redundancies, and they weren't following the redundancies. That's on the producer, so negligence. But it's also like literally not doing their job, the prop master, because like these things are supposed to be done
They're not
in
taking
a certain
things
way.
seriously. Yeah.
So it's now gonna, instead of a double triple check, it's gonna be a 5-6 check. Like we're gonna that what can we do else? Like there's gonna be negligent people. There's no movement here. We had the infrastructure that's designed can't be much more improved. It was just people being shitty.
People being
people being bad. So it's like again, shut it down. Like if it
story.
again, if it was just an accident, if it was a freak accident, because people have died on movie sets. There was like a construction person died making, I forget what movie, but it was like one of the Jurassic Worlds or something like that.
Yeah.
Or there's stuntmen who die all the time, and those are times where it's like shit happens. I mean, this sucks, and there was probably ways to avoid it for sure. But it's not like a criminal thing.
No.
Like the comparison to me is the Twilight Zone movie. That's
Right,
another movie
yeah.
where it's like that never should have gotten made.
No,
They should have shut it the fuck down and put people in jail.
No, yeah, I agree. The Safety for Sarah, that second AC, that is another good example where people just were being a little flippant and playing a little fast and loose with people's safety in a dangerous place.
I think they actually blamed the railroad or the railway on that one, if I recall.
Yeah, it was because they didn't have they had a lookout and then they stopped because they thought all the trains
were done.
for the day.
Trains were done,
and it's like,
turned out there
I
wasn't.
should still have the lookout.
No, yeah, you got to keep. But yeah, it just it feels like a pretty gross money grab to still put on this movie because again,
For
there's
sure.
no way you advertise this and you're not aware that people know the name of this movie for a very specific reason.
Yeah,
There's no way. I mean,
this.
some
is a
people
take
might be
the L.
oblivious and be like, "Oh, Alec Baldwin in a western."
Sure,
Some
but
people, but I just don't think.
Right, because there's like
just don't
screenwriters and artists who are like, but it's a good story, and it's like, then have someone else make it. Make it in a few years with different people.
American Humane
rename
literally
it,
has
start over.
nothing dies for film, and we're talking about animals. So
exactly.
and that's proven to be a good practice. And so it's like there's a reason we say these things on sets, and we keep that mentality because your idea is fun. Is it worth death?
Exactly. Art isn't worth death.
Nothing
It's
is.
not worth killing
Never.
someone over.
No one. Sets are a dangerous place, and when people don't take them seriously, bad stuff happens, and there's never. It's never worth it. It's never ever going to be worth it.
It's never worth it. I'm looking at you, Herzog.
You sick fuck.
You sick
fuck.
All right, next story. Netflix is pulling Arrested Development, including the new seasons they did.
Boo.
I just want to shout out to physical media, folks.
Yeah.
We need a resurgence.
That's absolutely true.
Physical media.
Arrested Development is one of the two. It's Arrested Development and 30 Rock that I'm always just like on a loop watching.
Right.
In some point, it breaks my heart that people aren't going to be able to find Arrested Development anymore.
Yeah.
A show that doesn't deserve this ending because it's gotten it a disappointing ending so many times.
Yeah, it's like Netflix wants to fail. It really it's starting to feel, I don't know. Streaming is obviously shaky, but it's just funny how people, when we did streaming and digital, it was this feeling of like, so it's forever, it's online, it's immortal, and it's like quite the opposite because it's just at the mercy of some fickle company that will do that
To save server space,
Right, save server space and not have to pay actors for residuals.
I have a different take. I don't
Remove
think
any
it's
of
that.
your failed programming, Netflix. Don't remove this gem of a sitcom that got canceled too soon.
maybe residuals, but at this point, it's not like bringing in Friends money, like.
No.
Right.
And that there might be, my take is slightly different. This is to me indicative of the death knell, definitely. Like this is Netflix dying and saving, pennies here and there, like you're saying.
Sure.
Yes.
But like it's very clear that they're doing one of two things: is they're either selling or holding back property to generate more money, i.e., selling it to someone else. Which companies will selling it to a company that literally does the same thing as you do is like a thing that happens. And it usually happens when they're like, we're selling all of the shit, so let's get our main properties earning for us as long as we can. Now it's either that or it's to manufacture anticipation again. I just, bring back Coke Classic kind of idea, which is something that Netflix might be trying, which is to me uber like manipulative, and it's something that I think that corporations do all the time with products. And when the second that we're talking about digital content, it's a lot different in our brains because we're like, that's not like a product like a like a Snickers bar, but it really is. It is to that. It is to a company, and you have to remember that.
Yeah, I wonder if it is because the thing about Netflix was it was a great idea when it was the only thing, because that would mean that anytime a movie or TV show came out, they'd bring it to Netflix, right? And it would be one-stop shop.
Right.
And then everybody made their own streaming service. And now they're like, hey, Netflix, we're going to need those rights back because we're going to put it on ours. So I wouldn't be surprised if this shows up on Disney Plus, which owns Fox.
Right.
The Fox stuff.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Disney was like, hey, Netflix, we're taking this. And you know what? We'll give you a few bucks and we'll take your
The
seasons
whole
as
thing.
well.
Yeah, exactly.
They
That's
should
exactly
though.
right.
It's not. Those seasons aren't worth much.
I think
Yes.
that's a very good possibility. I also
Yes.
Yeah.
still do think that
Either
we're going to
way-
see things being taken off just for the anticipation of putting them back on. And I'm
Right.
looking at you, Warner Brothers, and I'm looking at like shit like Batgirl. I literally
Right.
that's how it's going to work.
Either way, I would say it's the sign of a dying company, right? Like
Right.
that's what you're saying too, which is like if Netflix is either so conflicted and so at a loss that they're like, I don't know, take away shows so they'll miss them, or if they're selling them off, or if they don't want to pay residuals, it all points to Netflix is struggling.
It's struggling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a bad sign for Netflix. I'm kind of just hoping that it gets scooped up by another platform as soon as possible because
So you can watch it.
want
Yeah.
to watch this show forever.
Because it's one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want people to keep discovering it and quoting it.
Either way.
And I want the show to live in the zeitgeist forever. Get physical
Right.
media. Get it on
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
If you like something, get it on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Final thing. Disney is apparently about to start slowing down.
Same
At least
story.
it's Marvel stuff. There's been interviews and stuff about this where like there's only a few things coming out this year. That Ant-Man got terrible reviews.
It's a shame.
I'm sure audiences love it, but I think it's starting to not make the money it used to. That's what it appears at
Yep.
least.
Yeah,
I think
I
that's
am very okay with it. Hopefully it gives room for theaters to release other stuff.
Yeah, maybe smaller budget
I'm
movies.
also worried about what this means for movie theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That part of it is a little scary because they
That's what I
count on
thought,
these,
too.
but also they've been bad for a while.
Yeah, they have.
Mm-hmm.
They really kind of ran out of steam. I've also noticed I've been pretty cynical about Marvel for a while, but I've noticed that the reaction to this generally has been people going like, yeah, good.
It's about time.
Like,
Yeah.
it's about time. We're all getting kind of sick of it.
Yeah.
And
it's jumped the shark a little bit, and I've been cynical about Marvel forever too, and the only thing that gives me pause is hopefully this doesn't mean all movie theaters are going to go away now.
Yeah,
but yeah, they just it hasn't been hidden for a while. They still make crazy money, but you're running out of ideas, Marvel, and we can all see.
Yeah, it's the thing I said years ago about this, and we're now seeing it with this and DC, which is that if these companies don't allow their franchises to end in terms of the story, and fans support that, where they're like, yes, next thing, what you'll see is these really disappointing
Yeah,
ends.
the pendulum's
which
going to
is-
swing backwards. You know.
Yeah, which is like them being quietly like DC. They're just like, yeah, we're done. We're just ending it. Like it's a show getting canceled, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like it just stops. It reminds me, Abe, you know how you play Minecraft and Valheim?
Yeah, I've played those.
It
For real.
reminds me of, I love those games. I love them.
Mhm.
But because they always are just adding new stuff, there's never like an ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just sort of stop playing and
Yeah,
then
you get what you
pick
want
back
out of
up.
it, and then
Yeah.
you'll pick it back up. That is actually closer to my take, which I do agree with you on almost literally everything. But I do think that now Disney is they're pushing pennies, right? So they're that's every company, but they are still monolithic, and they still have Star Wars, and they're worried about Star Wars as well. I definitely think it's been exacerbated by the fact that the movies haven't been doing as well. But that's true globally about movies still. It's still down to, I think of like last year, it was like 65% of what was happening before the pandemic kind of numbers. So they're sitting on so much money and now have the data that kind of implies some form of change in the, kind of like the global how we consume movies. And they're kind of waiting it out. And I think we're probably not giving enough credit to the concept of superhero fatigue. So I feel like they are running out of ideas because they're doing it the same way, and someone's smart enough to recognize that in Disney and is being able to say, okay, what we're doing is not working. It's not fixing or offsetting the other problems that have been true for years, that we can't fight the oncoming storm. So the way our strategy now is not working. So, but they're never going to run out of ideas. They own the catalog of Marvel, and people love Marvel movies. So to me, they're still going to reboot this shit. I think they're just taking a beat and slowing it down and ending stuff so they can come back, use a cost-saving action during this time, and gamble on creating more buzz for their movies later. I mean, we're not done with superheroes here. This is not. It's not like Netflix where it's the death knell of the company.
No, it's still too profitable.
It's still too profitable.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I think Bob Iger in this article says, we want quality on the screen, but we have to look at what they cost us. He's literally doing the sunk cost analysis that we've been talking about.
Right, which they finally have to do. And I think part of the issue, personally, is since the 2000s, it's been this feeling of like, it's like someone living job to job where it's like if you were like a professional heist thief and you had to just keep getting these big jobs, but you don't have like a 9 to 5. It's a weird analogy. What I mean is that when you look at the highest grossing movies of the 90s, it's Titanic, Jurassic Park, Lion King, Independence Day, Forrest Gump, Sixth Sense, Men in Black, Armageddon, Terminator 2, Ghost, Aladdin, Toy Story, Twister, etc. They're all very different.
Yes.
And since the 2000s, it's been like, okay, we have Lord of the Rings. Okay, we have Pirates of the Caribbean. Okay, we have Harry Potter. It's franchises. And then the franchises die despite them wanting to stretch it out. You look at Pirates of the Caribbean. How did that end? With a fucking whimper, as they kept like limping out movies until no one watched them.
Yeah.
And so they keep just betting big on one thing until that thing fizzles out.
And they're recognizing that doesn't work anymore.
Yes. And I think it's making
I hope
this...
so, or they're moving on to the next thing.
Right. That's the thing, is like they'll probably just move on to the next thing that they'll drain. But as this has been happening, yes, the pandemic didn't make it good or didn't help, but like people have been, I think, less and less enthusiastic in general about blockbusters, because it's like, oh, do you want to go see the new Harry Potter? And it's like, if you don't like Harry Potter, there's nothing else. And it just starts slowly getting... I think people walking away, and so it's like, yeah, they might find the next big thing, but it would be a lot better for them if they started to, actually make new movies.
Yeah. Here's the thing that gives me hope, is that there's no matter how much money any corporation can have, no matter how big Disney gets, you still need an Iron Man to create a Marvel Cinematic Universe. You need something good that people respond to in order to actually create something more than that. And like, that's just something that's true about art and life and and like fandom. There's no replacement for it. And that's what's beautiful to me, is that they're gonna they're hedging their bets, and they're gonna like disappear a little bit and try new things because they're gonna hope that someone's gonna knock it out of the park like Jon Favreau, and then and in a moment they will be able to create like an empire out of it. Now they'll squeeze it to death, get all that sweet juice out of it, but that's neither here nor there. We are now entering the phase of essentially Marvel trying to figure out what the next thing is, and they're going to try multiple different things, and I think that's good.
Yeah, I do feel scared for Marvel because Marvel famously dealt with bankruptcy in the 90s, and the problem is, and it's the same with Lucasfilm, like they're doing this thing now where they buy these companies and all the companies do is make Marvel films. Lucasfilm just makes Star Wars. And it's like, imagine that idea of like, we just do this one, like we're Harry Potter Inc., we're Jurassic Park Inc. And at a certain point, if people are like, we don't want to watch your movies anymore, that's so many jobs.
No, that's absolutely the fallout.
Yeah, it's just, it bums me
It's how
out,
Disney
but-
works, man. Take that up with corporate America, man.
Right. I will. Abe.
Good. Send a message.
All right.
Yeah,
Someone
gonna
has
have to
to.
send someone's got to do it. Good
You
God.
you guys want to thank some more producers real quick?
Yep. Let's do the final volley of that whole thing.
Big thank you to Norm from Cheers.
Whoop.
Thank you, Norm. Thank you to Pete for Pagel. Thank you, Pete. Thank you to Numenal Ultra Microscopic Silico Volcano Coniosis Anti-Disestablishmentarianism Jones.
Woo.
Thank you. Thank you to pre-order TikTok superstar Jason Parge's new book, Zoe is Too Drunk for This Dystopia. Pre-orders are super important.
Yep.
Thank you to Rev MD.
Yeah.
Thank you to Ricky Cilantro. Thank you to Rosemary's Baby from Eraserhead.
Ooh.
Thank you to Screaming Horse, New Year's Baby.
Hype.
Thank you to Snapper Car, Punches God in the Dick.
Oh.
Thank you to Steven. Thank you to the conveniently self-destruct button on the top of every baby's head. Thank you.
Woo. Thank you, the Midnight Patreon. What patrons at midnight?
Thank you.
Thank you to the Oatmeal Savage.
Thank you.
Let's thank these 7 bees.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tiger Drawers Pratt Thompson. Raindrops keep falling on my head.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tip Drizzle.
TD.
Let's thank Tubi Baby New Year says, watch Rutger Hauer's A Breed Apart.
Thank you.
Thank you to Tux.
Tux.
Thanks, Vincent.
Vincent.
Thanks, your mom.
Thank you.
Thanks, because Pie Guy likes being last.
He sure does.
All right, producers, that's the end of you. Hey,
And we're done.
I got a question for you, Dave.
What? What is this, Abe?
Do you have a movie that deserves more hype?
No. I don't know why you would do that weird bit in
Really?
that voice.
Really?
It's weird, Abe.
No.
Or wait.
Huh?
Maybe I do.
Huh? Woo!
This was a grand scene.
Hype. What you got
Listen.
for us?
This is coming out on Shudder. This is called Spoonful of Sugar. It comes out March 2nd, which is soonish. This is described by Slash Film as imagine Mary Poppins breakneck twisting into the darkness of Orphan or Hard Candy.
Fuck yeah.
So that right away is an offer. It's about a nanny for this house who also is enjoying taking microdosing LSD.
I think she's giving LSD to the parents.
To the kid as
To the
well.
kids.
Yeah, everybody. She's just
And I think she's starting to dose the family,
A spoonful
and
of
she
sugar.
starts trying to seduce or be seduced by the dad, it seems like. And so it's like a weird, like sexy thriller about this nanny just dosing a family.
I think this is Servant.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I like that her vials say LSD on them.
Yes.
Yes. Not even hiding it.
Some of the reviews have talked about how don't expect too much of like over the top LSD stuff, but it's obviously in there.
Damn.
It sounds like it sounds like they're hiding something in the reviews.
Right. It seems like they don't want to say something.
Yeah, the immediate red flags at the beginning of Spoonful of Sugar there are immediate red flags at the beginning of Spoonful of Sugar because it tends to feel formulaic until it's very much not. For many unspeakable reasons, I'm struggling to keep hidden.
Oh.
So it sounds like a movie that's just fucking out of its mind at a certain point, which, as evidenced from the trailer. What did you guys think of this?
Yeah.
I like the trailer. I wasn't surprised when I read in those reviews seemed to follow what I picked up from the trailer, which looks like a typical concept of like a creepy babysitter that you let into your home. But there's something under the surface. It's clear that there is something else happening here. And that could go either way typically, but it seems like in the reviews that the critics think it went a cool new way. That is exciting.
Yeah. Because the formulaic stuff they're talking about are still like sexy thrillers,
Right.
which are like
Incredibly
already
watchable.
bonkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Incredibly
And so the fact-
watchable.
Yeah, the fact that we're starting there and then they're like, and then it goes off the rails, and it's like more than a sexy thriller. Good God.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, because some of those could be pretty predictable or paint by numbers, but
Yeah.
if you're taking people by surprise, I want to see what you got for me.
I want to see what you got.
Yeah, I'm super
exactly.
curious.
There's one little detail that you yet to mention, which is that the kid in this is a bubble boy.
He's a bubble boy.
He's a little bubble boy.
he is a bubble boy.
And
He's
that,
a bubble boy.
So
yeah.
here's the thing about horror movies and thematic resonance with your setup. That is going to probably bring up the idea of overprotection by the parents.
Yeah.
And
Sure,
what do you
yeah.
do in a horror movie, Dave? You take that and you fuck with it. I don't know, but I would put some good money on she's going to kill that kid.
Yeah.
I think she might.
I mean,
I
it
think
seems
she's
like a
gonna
very
kill that
killable kid.
And I think the parents are going to end up killing her, but one of them is probably also going to get got. So it's going to be brutal because it's going to be a family falling apart
Yes.
due to this terrible Mary Poppins.
Yes, I think it's a reverse Mary Poppins. I think she's absolutely going to sleep with the dad. Maybe
Yeah.
For
while
sure.
the kid accidentally dies in the background.
Right.
Yeah.
That kid is probably going to die. It's going to blow up in a very fucked up way. So yeah, if you like fucked up shit, Spoonful of Sugar.
And head over to Shudder.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I love Shudder.
Yeah.
There was like something about, because they're owned by AMC. There was a thing where AMC is like starting to cut costs.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, don't you fucking do it.
No.
Don't you do
Don't
it.
you dare.
No, keep.
Because Shudder
Not
is
my boy.
Yeah, Shudder is where to find indie films right now.
I know,
Yes,
yeah.
they all have to be horror movies to be on Shudder, but still.
That's a lot of indie
it's a-
film.
It's
Yeah.
a great genre right now. We're big
Yeah.
fans, at least in this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, whenever I look for movies that deserve more hype, I try to find non-horror indies, but they dominate the indies world. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, they really do.
yeah. But yeah, everybody check this out. That's all I have to say about it.
Hype.
Hype.
Complete.
We have
Right?
completed the
We
hype.
did it.
Yes, we did it.
We did it.
We hyped the shit out of this hour and a half here.
We did. Thank you
Whoa.
guys so much for being on.
That went fast.
Yeah, thanks for
yeah.
having me.
Of course. Bridgett, do you want to tell the world anything again at the end here?
Yeah, you could, like I said at the beginning, me and my co-host Sarah Griffin, the self-proclaimed BS division of Small Beans, are churning out podcasts over there, and we'll let you know when they're out if you follow me at Bridgett Tweets at twitter.com for as long as that's a thing.
Yep.
And yeah, I'll tell you the stuff I'm doing over there if you give me a follow.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And do all the things that Bridgett said, and you can find it at patreon.com/smallbeans, where I reside. I sleep in a little trash can that they have in the foyer of Small Beans building. And you can find me on Twitter at Abe the Mighty.
Do it. And I will plug patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed, GAMEFULLY unemployed. We have exclusive podcasts on there like Tom and Jeff Watch Batman, Fox Mulder is a Maniac. We also do Small Beans co-podcasts, Spiel Boys, and Star Trek The Next Futurama. We watch movies with our patrons every Friday night. We also have a merch store, gamefullyunemployed.com will get you there. We have t-shirts and mugs and posters. Wonderful, wonderful art on there. Check it out. And that is all I have to say.
Yeah, that's a sode.
All right, everybody, wave goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Quietly wave goodbye.
Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, CORLEW, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info.